Ah, so nice. The weather's gone. Welcome to episode 28 of Omnifactory. I am obviously not in my normal world here. I'm in my test world, and that's because I want to work on automating our atomic reconstructor today. Last episode, we worked on automating a lot of our alloys, and we want to basically get some of the automatic void crystals, as well as, while we're doing it, we might as well automate some of the other atomic reconstructor recipes. So we got the void crystals, the nori crystals, we also got Restonia, and then the diamond one, which I can't pronounce. But yeah, so I've spent some time kind of thinking this through, and I believe this setup should pretty much achieve what I want to get done. And I just want to walk through it a bit before I actually go to my main world and test it out. So obviously we have our atomic reconstructor here, and it's set to deactivation. And basically I just want to make it so that whenever anything is here, it's just going to always be continuously firing the lasers. It's different. When it's on pulse, it will only do it when it's initially clicked on. But for here, as long as this pressure plate is down, this is just going to keep on firing. And that's all this redstone conduiting does. It just takes in the input from the pressure plate and then applies it here. And what we have here is a NOT filter. So basically, this by default will just always fire, and we're inverting this signal. So when there's nothing there, it will be basically it's getting a redstone signal, which is stopping it from firing. And then when there is something there, it inverts that and says no redstone signal, go ahead and fire. It's kind of weird how atomic reconstructors work that way. And then over here, what we have is a bunch of automatic precision droppers from Actually Additions. I guess that's the same mod, isn't it? So these are pretty straightforward. They will just drop whatever's in there automatically. So something will go in there, drop, and then this will fire once it sees something is there. And this works the same way. It's on deactivation. So by default, these will just drop whatever they get. No matter what it is, it's just going to drop it. What I have set up, you get back here. What I have set up over here are some item filters. Oops. So like this one will take in iron to make the nori crystals. This will take in coal to make the void crystals. And then we got redstone and diamond. And what I'm going to be doing is basically just feeding those in from chests. These have like 1 million diamonds in them each. I'm not going to turn that on yet though, because I want to set something up before we do that. So how I'm going to actually make this work without having this just fire all the time is I basically want to control the droppers, because if there's nothing on this pressure plate, it's not going to fire. So I want to control the droppers to stop dropping whenever we're like all set on whatever we have. Also, I forgot to mention this, there's also a vacuum chest here. This is also just filtered to take in the actual transformed versions. So, for example, if we throw in redstone here, it'll drop on the pressure plate, and then once it's zapped up, it'll go into the vacuum chest. And then what I'm going to do is basically pull out of the vacuum chest and insert into one of these chests. So these are not normal chests, they're from GregTech. They're one-item chests, and they're all filtered accordingly, like we've been seeing before. So one takes void crystals, etc., etc. And so what I want to do is actually, I want to use the redstone conduits from Ender.io like we're doing over there with the pressure plate, and I want to feed it up over here. So basically I want to say, if we have any items into this chest, stop this from firing. So if we see an item, we want to basically send a redstone signal for that corresponding item to the corresponding atomic dropper. So, for example, this is redstone. So, whoops, that's not how you do that. So for this, we want to output on green, I guess? Or is that's input. We want to input on red. So, and then we also want to add in a filter. There's a redstone filter called a sensor filter. So this will basically output, and I think I'm doing this right, I played around with it a little bit. This will basically output a signal when there's something in the inventory. And then I want to link that up to whatever one is the redstone filter. I guess that's this one. So if I do this, I'm gonna take a guess that's south, I think, but the output should be red. Okay, so basically this chest is hooked up to this atomic precision dropper. So if we unleash our redstone to get filtered into there, what we should start seeing is this precision dropper drop a bunch of redstone, and then once we get at least one Restonia crystal into this chest, it should stop. So let's make sure that happens correctly. Cool. So stuff is dropping. And this should now fire. And that made some Restonia crystals, which should get put into here. I guess I forgot to extract here. So that should get put into here because that's filtered properly. So now it's seeing Restonia crystals. So this should stop. This should stop dropping, which it is. It's still getting the crystals from over here, but it stopped dropping. And then this atomic reconstructor just zapped it up until they were all gone. And we have some Restonia crystals. So that works as we want it. So if I just set up the other ones now, what's this one? Diamond. Cool. So that will input on green. This will input on brown. And this will input on blue. So diamond is green, which I believe is this one. That outputs on green. This one is for iron, which should be brown. Yeah, that's brown, right? Output on brown. Seriously, the weather again? And then the south one should be blue for the coal. And now, if we unleash all of these, I think we should be seeing what we're expecting to see. So we're going to see a bunch of resources start like flying out of these droppers, like so. And then whenever the vacuum chest sucks up that proper resource and puts it into its chest, it should stop that corresponding dropper from dropping them. So we should be seeing nothing else drop, except we totally are. Oh, I didn't put the sensor filters on. Oops. I knew I was going to forget something. Okay, and now it's seeing the items in here, and it should stop dropping. And now this coal will get cleaned up, I would assume. Cool. Okay, got the sensor filters. Looks like it's a bit more of a buffer. So that works as expected. Whenever we have items in this chest, these stop dropping. And I'm using this buffer chest because what we basically want to do is take the items from the buffer chest and then feed them into our ender chest like we have set up in our creative world. So right now we can just use a regular chest. Wait, that's not a regular chest. This is. And then if we get like a limited item filter, we basically want to allow, although I guess, okay, for now we can just let this run normally. I was going to say we want to allow only a stack, but we're going to have more than that anyway. But if we just let these all extract out of here, what we should see is stuff continue to drop until this completely gets filled in. But just pretend this is hooked up to our storage system like always. And we should start seeing, yeah, different items start to drop again. And then this atomic reconstructor is just going to fire as long as there's stuff here. The vacuum hopper should suck things up accordingly. And then once this fills up, things should back stuff into these wooden chests again. And then stuff should stop. So I hope that was somewhat doable to follow. But obviously when we first set this up in our world, we're going to get like a lot of items. Like this is working through a ton of different stuff and it's using a lot of power. But then what should happen is like whenever we take one out, it should just drop a few more and zap it up and be good to go. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I just want to make sure it does stop properly. Let's just say it got filled up. Okay, it can't insert any more over here. Now we should see things start to back stuff again. I guess there's some kind of priority going on, which is a bit tricky. Okay, now it's taking our Nori crystals out, so we should stop dropping iron. Okay, and now we stop dropping coal as well. And now we're done. And that should stop. Cool. So yeah, I feel pretty good about this build. I was playing around with it a lot yesterday, and then I feel like it should work pretty well. It's just that instead of these basic drawers, we will be feeding in from our deep mob learning setup, of course. But yeah, okay, I've been in this test world for a while, so I'm going to jump back into my survival world, and then we should build this, and hopefully everything works well. So I'll be back once we load up that other world. All right, we're back in our survival world. Before we head over to the overworld, though, look at our alloys. They are all looking very full. Oh, and wrought iron is just finishing up. That was definitely the slowest to finish up, but yeah, and we're going to have dark steel in here as well soon. Dark steel as well in here soon once we automate the actual crystals, and we'll actually have to set up a thing for crystals as well, of course. But yeah, let's head to our overworld. I think I have everything, and if I don't, well, we will see. I will cross that bridge if I get to it. And I also noticed there was a bit of lag last time when I was going back and forth from the overworld and the void world. It was fine on my screen, but like for 30 seconds or so, it was messed up. So here's to hoping that doesn't happen again. It is laggy. The lag you're seeing right now is on my end as well. Cool. We did we've been going down in polymer clay, but that's because I've been putting a lot of pulsating dust into here. But that's about to back stuff, so that shouldn't have any issues going forward. But yeah, so where should I set this area up? I could probably just go over here somewhere, right? I don't see any issues with that. Yeah, let's like clear out a bit of space. I kind of forgot I didn't really have much space here, but I think this should be okay. I hope. I can clean this up a little bit later. Yeah, this'll do. It doesn't really need that much space, but I'm also gonna have to remember to chunk load this as well, because this gets out of the chunks that are already chunk loaded, or else this won't happen when we are actually on our void world. Cool, that should be enough space. Oops. Let me get these. Yeah, if that's not enough space, then it's not, so be it. And then we're just going to be hooking into this same line over here. But yeah, let's try to set things up. So, you are an annoying bat. Please go away. So, we're going to want our actual pressure plate somewhere. I guess it's kind of arbitrary. Right there. Sure. Yeah, that seems good to me. And then, oh, I already realized I forgot something. The vacuum hopper. Or it's not a vacuum hopper, it's a vacuum chest. Let me grab that really quick and be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I also cleaned this up a bit. So we got our vacuum chest. That was easy enough to make. I don't think this matters what side goes in here. But first thing is first, I'm going to want to filter on what this vacuum chest can actually pick up, because as of right now, whatever we throw, it's just going to pop right in there. So we want to give it the, if I just do like crystal for, that should give me the different crystals, right? I would also love to automate the palest crystal, but there's really no way to automate lapis that I know of, at least early on in the game, like where we are now. So yeah, now this should only take the different kinds of the crystals. And now what we do is if we set up our droppers that we made to just point into this, I think that should work fine. Oops. Right there, and then right there. I think that should work as expected. We're running out of space a bit. Cool. And now I'm going to want to, I can set up my atomic reconstructor as well. It's a bit harder to recreate than I thought. Go there. Okay. And that should, I guess it has power from before, but we're going to need to feed that power as well. But first, let's set up the actual conduiting. Oh my god. I made the conduits, but I forgot to, grab them, actually. I can snag those really quickly. Okay, the conduits have been snagged. And then we're just going to pipe it like we were showing before into here. And the output is going to be red. And we want to have a not filter on the output side. Okay. Oh, this is on pulse right now. I did grab a redstone torch. So I want this to be on deactivation. So nothing should be happening right now, but once there's an item here, it should be firing at will. Oops, I forgot I have this. Oh, you know what? That this magnet's going to be annoying while I'm doing this build. Cool, that seems to be working properly, and that will just keep going until it's done. Cool, but we don't need to go that right now. And we are losing power, so let's hook that up right now. We can just jankily wire it over here. Oh yeah. Cool. So now this should be fine on power, coming from our numismatic dynamos over there. Okay, so we got these. Next step is we actually have the droppers. So what we want to do is set up filters for those droppers so that they actually get inputted with only the things that we want to input. So they're all going to be on green because that's where everything is coming from. And then they're all going to need item filters. So if I make this one like coal, oops. Make this one iron, etc., etc. It's always like a little bit harder to work when it's just like I'm getting a constant like 30-ish FPS. Oops. I feel like it's just I can't quite click as fast and I'll mishit things, but we'll get it done. And it's nice that this is going to be set up where in a spot where you don't have to worry about it too much. Oops, let's actually get into the filter GUI. Cool. So these filters are set up, so we should be safe to actually connect these up into our actual interface. So yeah, let's just like loop it around here, I guess. Again, really messy, but it doesn't really matter too much. But before we actually connect it, I want to, this is hooking to the right one, right? I want to actually set up the buffer chests and have the conduits and everything going. So I guess we can put the buffer chests like right here. Yeah, that seems good. And then we're going to want the item conduits here as well. And maybe these shouldn't be connected because we want this to hit the buffer chest first. So if we make our own item conduit line and have it pull out of the vacuum hopper like that, I feel pretty good about that. And let me erase all the, so it's kind of weird. I probably should have set this up a bit differently. But so this is our input line, and it's going to get input into these droppers over here. And then this is our output line coming out of the vacuum hopper. And let's throw in filters. Oops. Throw in filters onto these wooden chests. And these are going to be our buffers like we had demonstrated before. So make this one void crystals. Make this one Inori crystals. My inventory is pretty full. That's empowered Restonia. There we go. And last one. For the diamond. Cool. So yeah, that should put into the input chest, and then we're going to want to basically just be pulling these directly out and then back into our actual chest. We'll have it go to this chest and then set up limited item filters for the completed products. And then we also want void crystals to go into our dark steel, which we will set up in a bit. But yeah, so let's set up the actual conduiting. And I realize this is kind of the same as what you saw before, so it might not be super exciting to watch. So let me just set up the conduiting, and I'll be back when it's ready to get tested. Okay, hopefully I did this right the second time. Same thing as we did last time. I pretty much just set the different inputs for the different colors for the different items along with a sensor filter. So this will emit a signal when there's something into this chest. And that signal gets wired up to its proper dropper. And then the dropper will stop dropping when there's items in this chest. So I think the next step, what we should do is actually hook this up. I don't think it really matters where it gets attached. Oops, not there. Let's just like bring this over here. Messiest wiring ever. So we should see some items start to fly in here. Although I don't know if anything is back stuff that we really need, but from round robining, I'm imagining we should see some stuff. Cool, yeah. So we got some redstone and some iron. And then that gets sucked up by the vacuum chest and put into its respective hopper. Looks like we got one Inori crystal. Okay, that'll zap that up. That's good. So now what we should be seeing, awesome. So we are seeing the resources still actually get piled up, but they're not dropping because we have the resource in here properly. I think that is working correctly. Wow, this is so messy. Okay, yeah, I feel pretty good about that. So I think we still haven't gotten diamond, and we still haven't gotten... No, we did get iron, but yeah, we still haven't gotten diamond. Oh, there we go. Got some diamonds. So that should get zapped up. And then filtered into this one. Yep. Okay. So now nothing else should be getting dropped until we are actually taking things out of here. So if I go over here... Wow, that's just a holy mess. Okay, if we go over here, we already have a limited item filter set up. So what I want to do is basically just add in a stack of each of the types of crystals. And then I think we should just be good to connect up the outputs of the chest as well. And then I think things will run until, then we should be able to set up storage drawers. And everything should be good. The redstone and the diamond. And so you can have a stack of a buffer in our ender chest. And then these should be automatically stockpiled in our ender chest. And yeah, hopefully things should work as expected. As I scroll and scroll and scroll. Okay, so this is on green. It should just be able to, the outputs should just be able to connect up easily. Yeah, let's do that. And yeah, so actually I don't think I made these always active, did I? Cool, we're seeing stuff dropping. That's what we are expecting. And yeah, we should see a stack of each of these get into here, and then we should get our buffer in these chests again. I'm glad to see things are actually, this is what I envisioned. Like once we hook things up, stuff will start dropping again. And yeah, it looks like we already have a stack of our Restonia crystals here. So redstone must have stopped dropping. Cool, I think that is working exactly how we want it to. I really like this idea that I had. Just got a bit more iron, a bit more coal in here. Yeah, that is awesome. Cool. Okay, so I also want to take our void crystals, and instead of just having them go into the ender chest, I also want to set up an alloy smelter recipe for dark steel. So we got steel here. So I want to basically just put it in here. I do have one other limited item filter. So let's do that. So dark steel is just normal steel and void crystals. And again, let's say we can have a buffer of a stack in here. And we have to use the limited item filter because we want this to only have a stack of each resource in. And now all it should really be is a matter of inserting on green, and we should get the steel from here. Yep, that's pulling out, and then it's going to be making more. And then we should get the void crystals from over there. And now we are getting dark steel, and this shouldn't go anywhere. Let me make sure it is extracting, but it shouldn't go anywhere because we haven't specified anywhere where it can go. So if I also add dark steel to limited item filter, and I think we should be looking good. So yeah, things should start extracting now into our ender chest, and then we can set up another storage area for that. Cool, we are getting dark steel, and then that should hopefully pile up like the other resources we're piling up, and then we should have an unlimited supply of dark steel, as well as void crystals, because that's useful for other things as well. And then the one other thing I want to also make is what's it called? It's made with the Restonia crystals and also ender pearls in the alloy smelter. Yeah, these resonating redstone crystals. So this ender shard, I can just throw it through a mechanical crafter or something. That'll be easy enough to make. And then these are used for a couple different things. It's not used a ton, but like for example, these solar panels, these will probably be used a lot. And then the different mills for extra utilities are useful. Yeah, so let me, I am going to need another limited item filter as well as a mechanical crafter and everything. So let me grab those things and be back. Okay, we are back and things seem to be working well. I did grab a few more like iron and diamond to make sure that things actually got crafted up correctly. But yeah, we got our back stuff, and then we have some items sitting in these chests as expected. And then just since they're there and not being able to put into here, items aren't dropping, and yeah, things are looking good. So yeah, really happy with where this turned out. I think these should just fill up completely, and then yeah, you know the drill. Things will work, or they should work. I don't really see why they wouldn't. We're making up more dark steel. I like to see that. That's a pretty slow process, so that's going to be great to have a lot on me. And now I think we should be good to... I want to grab this mechanical crafter. It's not being used anymore. So this was getting fed in zombie flesh and overworldian matter. So I want to take that. Oh, I guess when I took out that filter, it grabbed a bunch of other stuff. That's okay. I can put that in my storage system when I get back. Whoa, where's that flying away from? Oh, I just don't have my my magnets. So I'm so used to things just like popping into me. Cool. So we have this mechanical item filter, mechanical crafter, and I can just throw that down here. Let's say. Let's do one more over. I'm like, where'd it go? I lost it forever. And then we are going to want to basically feed in ender pearls to this, and then just have it craft into normal, normal things. I guess we can use a normal item filter for here. It doesn't really matter if we just fill this thing up. Although, no, there's an input inventory and an output inventory. So yeah, let's just filter on ender pearls here. And then when we connect this up, it should just have a bunch of ender pearls fly into it because it's on green. Right? Nice. And then the crafting recipe is just that. And that's going to fill up very quickly. I guess the stack is only 8, so... Oh well, whatever. And then what we're going to do... How did I get pristine thermal elemental matter? Is we're going to set up another item conduit over here with one more limited item filter. Oh, I grabbed one from the mechanical crafter. And this is going to take in... I hope that didn't actually throw in those items. Oh, we don't have insert on. And this is going to take in the Restonia crystals. And we can have a stack of that. And then also the ender shard. And that's only 8. And then that should cook up. Oh, let's actually put in the insert here. And tell it to extract on green as well. And that should... Oh, this also should be extracting. So that should take out the ender shards, right? Yep, I saw one go away. Awesome! And this will cook up the actual resonating redstone crystals, which we can also import into our storage system. We're already getting through these limited item filters that we have. And yeah, things should filter into here, and we can make another slot in the storage system for that. Cool. Things are looking great. I would say that's a completed build. Yeah. We added a few more alloy smelter recipes. We're getting dark steel and then the resonating crystals. And then we're also going to have a full supply of the void crystals, the iron, the diamond, the Restonia, all that stuff. So I'll head back to my overworld and set up the drawers to store that, and then we'll finish up the episode. Oh yeah, that just looks great, doesn't it? So we added in the dark steel, resonating crystals, and then the 4 empowered crystals. And yeah, they're filling up pretty quickly. I always like doing this. It's a true test of are my machines working, especially when I'm not there, to make sure the chunk loading is working. So it's going to pull everything out of here, and yeah, we're seeing more items fly into here, and so it seems like things are working. We're getting more dark steel. Yeah, overall, I feel pretty good about it. Let's go back really quick just to make sure that the system isn't completely overloaded with like a million items. It very well might be, but not that big of a deal. You should be hearing buzzing. Oh yeah, we got some buzzing. That's a whole lot of items coming in. But it's nice. It will kind of stop it because, like, since the Ender IO conduits do take a bit to actually filter things out, it should help the stop the items from coming in way too fast. But every time this fires off, it should just use a bunch of power, because that's pretty much what this is. It's power equals new items. But yeah, that is great. And this stuff should be filling up. But yeah, I'm going to call it there. I'm really happy with how this build turned out. It's really cool how this all happens automatically. Atomic Reconstructors are always a bit tricky to automate, so I feel like this is a decently compact and efficient solution where it's not wasting a bunch of power, and I'm also not wasting any items, really. So yeah, all in all, this looks good. But yeah, thank you for tuning in for this episode. I think next episode we are going to actually get back into the quest book. I promise we're done with automation. Although, in my opinion, I feel like this is some of the coolest stuff in this pack is setting up little things like this. But yeah, I think we're on a really good place to really dive into high voltage machines next episode. So that's something to look forward to. But I will see you on the next one.